Hi guys, so normally I kick off my videos with an aesthetic little montage, you know, the whole soft music, dreamy visuals vibe, but today we're skipping all of that and we're diving straight in because I'm taking you to Topkapi Palace. This iconic museum is home to some extraordinary Islamic relics, including a beard hair of the Prophet, peace be upon him, his footprint, his shoe, and so much more. Pretty cool, right? Now, let me set the scene for you. Before this trip, I had grand plans of twirling around Istanbul in flowy dresses, living my best Pinterest-inspired life, and even panic stitched some satin abayas in vivid colors because I really wanted to feel like an actual princess. But the reality, the city was hot enough to roast a kebab and I felt like the skewer. The fatigue was real. The last thing I wanted to do was to wear something fussy or overstimulating. So what did I do? I threw caution and fashion norms out the window and stepped out in my pajamas. Yep, zebra striped ones that I somehow styled into a quirky cord. Did it look silly? Absolutely. Did I care? Not in the slightest. Before we head to Topkapi Palace though, we're kicking things off with a traditional Turkish breakfast at a gorgeous spot with an incredible view. It's a different place from the one that we went to on day one, so if you haven't seen that video yet, what are you even doing? Go check it out. But for now, let's jump into today's adventure and get back to the aesthetic vibes. Roll the footage. This morning we are at a different breakfast place. This is also on a terrace. We're gonna obviously order the typical Turkish breakfast spread. Omar, are you kind of getting a bit tired of Turkish breakfast? A little bit, right? I love Turkish breakfast, don't get me wrong, but
sometimes there's one like a fried egg and that's it.
We've been here 6 days and we've been ordering that every single morning. So, you know what, I'd say, Omar, let's make this our last Turkish breakfast. Let's have a 2-day break. It's a bit hard to find other breakfast options. When we went to Boris and Yeri, there was a Pakistani restaurant opposite and I was like, no. I'm like, we'll see what other options we have. Let's see, this place might be a little bit different. The views are stunning, of course. The prices are a little bit on the touristy side. As Omar said just now, we're paying for the views and the location. Let's hope the breakfast lives up to it. Today we are finally ticking off a huge activity. We're going to be visiting the Topkapi Palace Museum. It's known to contain religious relics. That's why we're awake early. It's currently 10 o'clock right now. It opens at 10 AM on Mondays. We picked a Monday on purpose because it should be quieter on a Monday according to TripAdvisor. Let's see if that's actually true. For now, let's just enjoy the breakfast because I am starving. For breakfast, we went to a highly rated spot called My Terrace Cafe and Restaurant, which boasts a solid 4.6 stars and has nearly 4,000 reviews on Google. I mean, with those numbers, how could we not? Perched on a rooftop with stunning views of the Sea of Marmara, it's the kind of place which makes you want to take a million photos and pretend your life is way more glamorous than it actually is. Now, a heads up, they only take cash, no card. So come prepared, or you'll be washing dishes for that view. We ordered the serpme kahvaltı, which translates to mixed breakfast for two, at 500 lira each, and honestly, compared to London pricing, it's pretty similar, but in London you're definitely not going to be getting this level of food or ambience. The spread was impressive. Fresh fruits, olives, a variety of cheeses, fluffy bread, jams, honey, and the star of the show, menemen, a delicious mix of Turkish scrambled eggs with tomatoes and peppers, and they also gave us 2 omelets separately each. Basically, it was everything you could want in a breakfast and then some. It sent us into a full-blown food coma. Honestly, I could have just flopped back into bed and napped for hours, but no, life had other plans. And Topkapi Palace was not going to tour itself. So, after stuffing our faces and regretting our life choices, but not really, we rallied and set off to secure those tickets.
Ordered to be built by Sultan Mehmet the Conqueror.
Got our audio guides now. Finally outside the gates of Topkapi Palace Museum. Funnily enough, the actual queue for the audio guide was much longer than the queue for getting the tickets. Tickets cost 650 lira each if you want full access to everything in the museum.
You get access to the Harem section, and there's one more section I forgot you get access to. I recommend going for the 650, not the 500, because for 150 lira each, you access to 2 more sections. Sorry, I'm getting affected by pollen. But yeah, as he was saying, if you want to have an audio guide, you have to give him a piece of document, which is usually a driving license or a passport. So I had to give him 2 passports for 2 audio guides. I don't think that's a fair exchange, but hopefully I won't lose the return card which they give to you to return, so they can give back your passports. So Yeah.
We're about to enter the Gate of Salutation now. The Gate of Salutations leads to a courtyard known as the Council Square, which is where all of the council meetings were held, and it's where we're going to be walking through now, right behind me. The Gate of Salutation at Topkapi Palace is a gateway to centuries of history. Built during the reign of Mehmet the Conqueror, the palace served as the heart of the Ottoman Empire for 380 years before becoming a museum in 1924. The Imperial Gate leads to the first courtyard, once bustling with palace officials, merchants and ambassadors, and on ceremonial occasions, the Sultan himself passed through here in grandeur. As you enter, step into the rich legacy of Topkapi Palace. We're going to go anti-clockwise and visit the kitchens first. When we reach the third courtyard, that's where all of the relics are, the throne is, and also portraits of the Sultan, which is what I'm looking forward to the most. But for now, let's explore the second courtyard. We are outside the tinning shop. The tinning shop is where the kitchenware used to be polished and maintained. It is extremely hot and humid. Omar just went in the cafe to go grab us some drinks. He's also gone to get himself a little coffee because we're both dying out here. We've already... Yeah, it's a vlog. Hi, the vlog. Hi. Where are we from? London. Hello, London. Welcome to Istanbul. That was really sweet. Just made my day. We've already visited the pantry of the palace. There were a lot of ceramic vessels where they used to store bulgur, wheat, rice, jams, and a lot of it came from China. And Omar said something about there was like trading, right?
Yes, trading between the Chinese Ottomans thanks to a Silk Road that was formed between those countries and many other countries from Central Asia to China.
Omar's degree coming in handy, we love.
And my degree was on contemporary history, 1900s European history. Hit the subscribe button if you want my missus to keep on walking because
I'm done.
She's lazy.
So coffee holds quite a significant role in Turkish culture. They used to use coffee cloths to cover the coffee as the coffee tray would be brought in for guests around the palace, and it was mainly introduced into Turkey in the 17th century, but it became more popular during the second half of the 17th century. The coffee cloths were often embellished with gold or silver thread. Coffee was mainly used in traditional ceremonies, and it would be followed by offering the guests something sweet afterwards like sherbet and sprinkling their hands with rose water and lighting up incense. The coffee cups originally started off as being big, wide cups, and then as time went on they got smaller and smaller. About to enter the 19th century palace kitchen. Just found the matching dinner set for the coffee set that we saw in the other room, and this is from the late 19th century. So I'm currently in the confectionery kitchen, and as you can see there are many jars being used for storage of beverages, sherbets, pickles. There's also copper cauldrons where sweet dishes used to be prepared. We've also seen the utensils including sieves, knives, ladles, coffee pots, everything kitchen related. So next, where are we off to, Omar?
I'm not too sure. Clock tower? I'm not too sure.
Next stop is the Exterior Treasury to see the arms collection. Until the 17th century, the Ottoman army's most powerful long-distance weapon wasn't just some fancy gun, it was the bow and arrow. And guess what? The sultans didn't just command from their thrones, they were pretty serious about archery themselves. It was basically their version of hitting the gym. The Ottoman bow was a masterpiece of craftsmanship made from maple wood and reinforced with bullhorn and tendon. The string was carefully upholstered, giving the bow both strength and flexibility for powerful shots. Welcome to the Imperial Council at Topkapi Palace, where the Ottoman Empire's most important decisions were made. And no, it wasn't just about what's for dinner. The divan was like a big boardroom, but with way more drama and no PowerPoint presentations. The Sultan's Grand Vizier led the council, but it wasn't just one person calling all the shots. Oh no, it was a team of high-ranking officials, each trying to outdo each other with their brilliant ideas. Think of it like a very intense meeting with a lot of people who definitely believed they had the best answer. Here, in these chambers, the Sultan might have been
in charge, but he probably needed a lot of coffee to keep up with all the expert opinions flying around. This room was designed to impress, with high ceilings, intricate woodwork and lavish details that reflect the power and prestige of the Ottoman Empire. The room's design is a perfect blend of functionality and beauty, allowing for large gatherings yet offering a sense of intimacy where every advisor's voice could be clearly heard.
So what you just saw there was the Imperial Council. It actually used to be a building made out of wood before it got decorated the way it did so lavishly. The purpose of the Imperial Council was for meetings with palace officials, businessmen and foreign ambassadors visiting the Sultan. It's been about an hour of exploring and we're still in the second courtyard. I think the final thing that we have left to tick off is the Tower of Justice and the Harem, which we're going to be visiting next.
The word harem means something forbidden or kept safe.
Welcome to the Harem, a world of secrets, power and a touch of royal drama. Doubling as a high-stakes finishing school for concubines, this wasn't your average cozy space. It had 300 chambers, 2 mosques, a hospital and enough beds to make IKEA jealous. Picture a palace where every corner whispers stories of opulence and occasional chaos, because let's face it, managing this many people couldn't have been easy. The first buildings of the Harem were constructed during the rule of Sultan Fatih, and it reached its peak in the 16th century under Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. Suleiman wasn't just great at governing, he also had a soft spot for his lady, Hurrem Sultan. She wasn't your average concubine. Oh no, she went from palace newbie to officially marrying the emperor. Talk about career growth. Over time, each new sultan added their own personal touch, a chamber here, a kiosk there, until the harem looked like a less cohesive design and more like the ultimate Pinterest mood board. Before I take you inside, I'm gonna break down the harem for you because it just wasn't one big party room. It had 4 distinct sections. The eunuch's quarters. Here lived hundreds of eunuchs led by the chief eunuch, and their main job was to keep the harem secure, ensuring no funny business happened without their knowledge. Think of them as the original palace security team minus the walkie-talkies. The concubines' quarters. This was where young girls brought to the palace at a young age were trained in etiquette, art and palace life. The most beautiful and talented ones had the chance to meet the sultan himself. Cue dramatic love story music. If they were lucky, they might even give birth to the crown prince. The others, they'd marry palace officials and live a slightly less glamorous life. The sultan mother's quarters. Now this was where the real power resided. The sultan's mother, also known as the Valide Sultan, was the queen bee of the harem. Her influence stretched far beyond these walls. Nobody dared to cross her. And then the emperor's retreat. Finally, we have the sultan's private kiosks and bar. Picture luxurious spaces where the emperor could unwind, plot his next conquest, or simply avoid palace drama for a hot minute.
We just finished visiting the harem. It took about 50 minutes to see everything. There was 4 different chambers and we visited all of them. I did like the Islamic tiles, the blue Islamic tiles. My favorite was Sultan's privy chamber. They also had like a swimming pool for the concubines, which I found really cool. The water wasn't in there, obviously. It was drained. But yeah, I'm feeling quite tired now. Omar, have we finished exploring the second courtyard?
I believe so, but I don't know about the Tower of Justice. I don't know how to get there. There's no
I don't know if we're able to go into the Tower of Justice. That was reserved for the Sultan because that's where he would observe the second courtyard, and the rest of Istanbul as well was built for him to see everything. The view from here, it's located between the Sea of Marmara and the Golden Horn. It's already on an elevated platform, so he could actually see the whole of Istanbul from the Tower of Justice. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of a break and just, you know, get our energy back for a bit before we head off to the third courtyard. Courtyard, I think, is going to be the most taxing. We need to just have our thinking hats on, you know, whilst we're reading those plaques, because it's quite important. You've got the Islamic relics there, you've got the portraits of the sultans there. Omar's just there for the holy relics. I don't blame him.
Situated in the third courtyard of the Topkapi Palace Museum, the Chamber of Sacred Relics is unlike anything I've ever experienced. From the moment we entered, the atmosphere was electric and almost otherworldly. A live recitation of the Quran echoed softly through the air, setting a spiritual tone that stayed with us throughout our visit. Among the treasures displayed were the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, shoes and sandals, simple yet profound reminders of his life. In one case, the Prophet, peace be upon him's blessed footprint was showcased, preserved as if to remind us that he walked this earth, leaving behind not only a physical imprint but a spiritual one that still guides millions today. Case after case showcased delicate strands of his blessed beard, each preserved with the utmost care and reverence. His sword was also on display, embodying his leadership and courage in the face of challenges. One of the most moving items was a collection of bottle fragments that once held droplets of water used to wash the Prophet's body following his passing. There was also a bottle of holy dust collected from his tomb, cherished as a blessing and a tangible link to his final resting place. One display held a verse from the Quran, written by Caliph Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, Ameen, a testament to the faith and artistry of that era. We saw Fatima's bridal veil, her inscribed shirt and undercoat, and a fragment of Hussein's coat, both deeply moving connections to the Prophet's family. There were the Prophet's letters, written in his own handwriting, and a magnificent gold case intricately embellished to hold them, each detail a story and a legacy. The seal of the Prophet, the bowl of the great mystic Rumi, and even relics of the Prophet Yahya, St. John the Baptist, his arm and skull were displayed with an almost reverent silence. One of the most remarkable stories tied to these relics is that of the Prophet's mantle. Kept in a chest, it would only be opened by the Sultan himself during special ceremonies. The mantle, wrapped in 7 layers of silk velvet, would be revealed and its corner dipped into a bowl of water. This water was then mixed and shared with visitors as a sacred blessing, a tradition that speaks volumes of the devotion and care that these relics inspire. The room itself was alive with the hum of visitors, everyone taking turns to catch a glimpse of these priceless treasures. It was crowded and busy, with moments of waiting as people slowly moved through, each person visibly impacted by what they saw. For us, the time spent waiting felt insignificant compared to the weight of what was in front of us. Walking through this chamber was like walking through centuries of faith, history and devotion, all converging into one extraordinary place. Now, stepping outside, I find myself still processing everything, the sacred objects, the stories, and the sense of connection they bring to our past and our faith. It's a moment I'll carry with me forever.
We have just finished exploring the Chamber of Holy Relics. It was quite intense. I'm not actually going to record the rest of Courtyard 3 and Courtyard 4. Courtyard 4 is just a bunch of pavilions. If I did carry on recording, this would become a 3-hour-long documentary, which we don't want. We're going to end the night with some food and go home. Tomorrow is a new day.
No recording or nothing, let's go.
By the time we made it to the 4th courtyard of Topkapi Palace, I was running on sheer determination because my feet were staging a full-on protest. My legs were going to fall off. They were 2 steps away from filing for early retirement. But let me tell you, this place was so worth it. The 4th courtyard is where the Ottomans flexed their architectural muscles and artistic flair. Just look at this gorgeous Islamic calligraphy. The details were so fine, it felt like they were showing off. And then there are these lush gardens that make you feel like you're in an Ottoman fever dream. The fountains are so extra. I expected them to start spouting out Turkish delight or something. Oh, and don't get me started on the pavilion, like Iftar Pavilion, where the sultans used to break their fast. Oh my god. Meanwhile, I was over here just trying to break my streak of bad life choices, like thinking I could tackle this entire place in one day. I looked around and thought, if these walls could talk, they'd probably tell me to sit down and hydrate. So yeah, lesson learned, come to Topkapi, enjoy the history, but maybe bring a folding chair and a snack for the 4th courtyard. All in all, we did manage to do it in a day. Despite the exhaustion, it was all so worth it. Topkapi, you win. My feet may never forgive me, but my heart's got a soft spot for this view. Alright, let's limp out of here and go grab some nice, chewy Ottoman ice cream and let this guy play some tricks with me. The chill girl in me has left the chat. We got some kumpir, which is Turkish jagged potato, with an assortment of toppings. I think I pretty much got everything. They had black olive paste and god knows what. This basically sent me into a food coma. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see more, then please subscribe and also give a thumbs up, leave a comment, interact, you know, do what you gotta do. But until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye.